No, you're not dreaming. It is me, Mr. First Down. You saw me last night. Now you get to see me again. It's another date. Who knew I'd bump into you in such a place? Welcome to a special Saturday edition of Fanboys Unleashed. I'm excited. I hope you're having a great Saturday. WWE Backlash is on my TV as we speak, and I have a special guest to talk to. We're about to jump into it on Fanboys Unleashed. Let's have ourselves a show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fanboys Unleashed special Saturday edition, and I am overjoyed. I really am. I'm not beating around the bush here. I am overjoyed to have this guy on the podcast with me. Super excited. I am Sam Dean, aka Mr. First Down. I am a Fanboys Unleashed, and I am joined by the Yankee fan. He's a Yankees fan, a Dolphins fan, and a Miami Hurricanes fan. He is a Fanboy Unleashed of many hats. He is Johnny Cruz. Johnny, how are you, buddy?
I am great. I am so happy to be here, Sam. It's been a long time coming. It's been definitely overdue. So I'm very, very happy to be here with you, talking some NFL and some college football. Very, very excited, Sam. I've missed you, bro. It's been a minute since we've done a show.
I missed you too. I wasn't kidding when I see that text. I was like, look, I will bend over backwards to get you on the show. Do you understand? I will do most anything. I will send you catering. I ain't kidding. But it's great to see you. We'll start off with the good stuff here. Happy Saturday indeed, Bodkins. Nick Bodkins.
What up?
He is that guy, Bodkins, head kicking haymakers. If you love UFC, look it up. He is there. He is the guy to do it. And of course, the LTS show on Mondays, he carries it. Sam having everybody but his daddy. You're going to be on soon because I have to build up my armor because, boy, do you swing at it. Boy.
Since you shouting out Nick as well, make sure you check out the Bodkins show, the Sunday Dump, me and Nick Bodkins, where we basically we throw everything out that's gone on throughout the entire week. Not just sports related, anything pop culture and stuff. We give top 5 lists and we review movies and music and stuff like that. So definitely check us out Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern time on the Bodkins show.
Check it out. You should totally check it out. I love it. I watch it on my way to church. I rewatch it when I get home. It gives me something to look at while I'm trying to clean up the house or listen to everything. Sometimes I end up going, Johnny, come on, man, don't go for that movie. We're better than that. Oh boy. Top 5 worst TV moms.
I was. Oh my God! When Nick sent me that text of saying the top 5 worst TV moms, like I had to look at it and read it a couple of times. So I was like, seriously, the top 5 worst TV moms on Mother's Day. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely check that out. And I will be reviewing Thunderbolts, the Marvel's Thunderbolts that came out a few days ago. So definitely check us out tomorrow at the Bodkins show, 9 a.m.
Thumbs up, yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I'll give a brief preview of it, a review of it tomorrow, and I'll give you my final top 5 score of it as far as 1 through 5. But it's definitely worth a watch if you're a Marvel fan.
Absolutely, I love to hear it. Anyway, we should probably jump into this because it is a football show. People
Let's do it.
Somehow watch me on camera for whatever reason, but we'll go through this. Johnny, how do you feel about the Dolphins draft? Do you have a grade for it?
I'd give it a solid B-, and it's only because of how many picks we wound up having. We had 10 picks total. We only had 3 in the top. We started off with only 3 in the top 100. We wound up with 8 picks. Chris Greer made a couple trades, which got us a 3rd-round pick for next year. I like that move there. But overall, I like the players that we got. Of course, Nick will be one of the first ones to say it that the Miami Dolphins are soft like Twinkie fillings. So you know what I'm saying. So we needed some toughness and some grit to this team, so I think they exactly did that. I love Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle out of Michigan, 6'3", 331. A lot of people say that they reach because he's just a nose tackle. If you're calling Kenneth Grant just a nose tackle, then you haven't been watching the Kenneth Grant tape. He can play anywhere on the defensive line.
He sure can.
He should not move as quickly and as well as he does for the size that he is. He's got a motor that doesn't stop. He's tough. He's physical. They made a move in the second round. They traded up to get Jonah Savanaia, the Hawaiian kid or Polynesian, kid out of Arizona, the guard who can play tackle, physical, tough, road grader, very good anchor on pass blocking, can move for a man that's his size. Another kid that's 6'4", 324 to put in the middle of that offensive line for Tua, which was highly needed. Then they traded the 98 pick, which was their compensatory pick that they had, essentially an early fourth round, even though it was late third round. They traded that for a third round pick next year and wound up still getting Jordan Phillips, the defensive tackle out of.
That was my favorite pick of yours, by the way. I actually watched.
I was hoping that they would take him at 98. So to trade 98 to move up to get Savanaia at guard, and then you still wind up getting Jordan Phillips, at 143 in the fifth round. Tough, physical. He is a true nose tackle, right? He is the true nose tackle, and you got him in the fifth round. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And then they took a big physical corner out of Florida, Jason Marshall Jr., 6 foot, 194, physical press man. He's a tough kid. Again, physical, tough-minded football players, which is what this organization needed. And I think they got it. They filled up with that. They topped off the fifth round with Dante Trader Jr., another Maryland Terrapin safety. He's a hard hitter, a very smart kid to play in the secondary. We needed that. We made a couple of acquisitions in free agency at the safety position, but we got ourselves a nice young one there. And then this pick was probably one of my favorite picks because I did not think he would be there. But Ollie Gordon II out of Oklahoma State, 6'1", 226. Yeah, he ran a 4.58 or something like that, but it doesn't matter.
Power back.
Yes, which is exactly what the Dolphins needed because it's hard to get those third and ones when you're trying to give it to a 185-pound Devon Achane. You know what I'm saying? Now you got Ollie Gordon, who's a big physical running back. So now they could all that movement, all the people that fantasy people that were that took Devon Achane and loved him because he was all over the field. Expect more of that this year, and expect Ollie Gordon to carry more of the load in the backfield, and he will definitely help us out on the short yardage, goal line, and stuff like that. Again, physical, tough kid. So I love that. And then Quinn Ewers, they went with a quarterback. People say that this system is perfect for him. I don't care. We'll see. Of course, half of the Dolphin fan base immediately says, "Oh, he's better than Tua. He's going to be starting over Tua." Oh my God, dude! It's crazy, but let's see if the kid can develop to be our backup. Hey, cool, that's a win. That's the way I see it. You know what I'm saying?
And if he is the guy, then good. You picked him.
Right. It is what it is because I like Tua. He's the Dolphins quarterback, so I'm going to support him. But he needs to step it up, bro. He's only been healthy 1 year in his 5. Yeah, so I can't. I have no confidence that he's going to stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not so thrilled about Zach Wilson being the backup, even though I think he has potential. You know what I'm saying? In the right situation, Zach Wilson, but I don't trust him either. You know what I'm saying? So if this kid can be developed, Gordon is a stud. If this kid can be developed, Quinn Ewers, hey, you never know. And then they finished it off with another big, ugly 6'5", 325-pound defensive tackle, Zeke Biggers. I love his name. Zeke Biggers out of Georgia Tech is a big, tough, physical football players, which is exactly, again, what this organization needed because, like I said, I tried to fight Nick and everybody else who said, the Dolphins are soft. And I was like, well, I mean, they're a speed team or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? When you look deep into it, they were soft. You know what I'm saying? They needed some toughness to be infused into this organization. And I think this draft, they definitely had an emphasis on tough physical football players. So I'm happy with the draft. Obviously, they gotta show it on the field and they gotta do it, and
100%.
people gotta stay healthy. But overall, I'm happy with the draft. I'm glad that they decided to finally fortify the trenches. You saw what Philly did to KC, bro. You know what I'm saying? That defensive line and offensive line dominated that game, that Super Bowl for them. So that's where you win and lose football game. Of course, you need a quarterback that's going to make the plays. You need the skill positions, but if you have a dominant offensive line and or a dominant defensive line, you're always going to have a chance to win the game.
100%, 100%. And I would also point to that Georgia Tech player whose name just eluded me. You just said
Zeke Biggers.
Biggers, that's right, Zeke Biggers. Because boy, they were in a lot of games with him playing that position. And I am
including against my Canes.
Oh yeah. Like, listen, I'm a huge defensive line fan. I love that guy. I love him. When people talk about their favorite draft picks, I'm always like, oh, I loved this guy out of Maryland, or I loved this guy because I love defensive line play. I love it. Always will. And that started before I was a Titans fan. That started out with Reggie White and the University of Tennessee Vols. That's when it started with me. And,
I hear you on that. You're saying, my younger days with the Dolphins, they had Tim Bowens back in the day. You're saying like they had those big, Darryl Gardner. They had those big bodies to take up all the blockers, so that way the linebackers can make some plays. Zach Thomas can get to the Hall of Fame because everybody up front was taking up all the offensive linemen. So I'm glad that they did it. I'm excited about these young kids. Like I said, we got to see them do it on the field, but I like the mentality that they had as far as we're going to get tough physical guys that are going to help us right now, as opposed to Chris Greer has the habit of always this guy's got so much upside. If we can tap, in a year or two, he could be phenomenal. Well, F that. We ain't got a year or two. You know what I'm saying? You need guys that are going to help your team right now.
Because Vrabel's already making moves. It's time to roll.
Yeah, dude. Bro, you know how I've felt about your former coach, bro. I love Vrabel. I wanted him to be the Dolphins head coach. I hate the fact that he went to New England, even though it's poetry, like George Lucas would say. It's like George Lucas would say, it's like poetry, it rhymes. So he winds up going to New England where he belongs. Drake May is a player. So he's got himself a nice young quarterback, and he is going to make that. He's all about toughness. You know how he is. So Mike Vrabel is going to make sure that team is going to be physical, tough, and ready to play. So if we can't match that physicality, we're going to want to be in third in our division, and that's what I'm saying. I've already dealt with that for the last 20 plus years. So hopefully that changes.
Yeah, it's time. Look, you got to get it. Okay, like. If you're like in the same position as the Titans right now, this division stinks. The AFC South is a crap hole, right? And it's not like the Texans are just decisively taking it. So you really need to find a way to start punching now. And like anything, and I remember because I got to meet Jim Nantz, and Jim Nantz goes, the bottom line is this in this NFL, you have to have the quarterback. You have to. It is the only way. It is the only way. So I hope it is the guy. But yeah, I think B is a fair one. I don't know about the trade up. I don't know. I kind of look at draft picks like I don't want to trade them all. I need them. Whatever.
I'm with you, and I was a little worrisome about it as well. I'm with you on that one. But we had such, because we had 13, we had 48, and then the next one was 98. So we had such a big gap between the second and third round pick. I'm okay because of the player that we got. You know what I'm saying? Just watching the tape on him and watching his interviews and him, the first thing he said on the phone was he was like, let Tua know to be ready. You know what I'm saying? Like he is the type of physical player that we need on this offensive line. Like it's good to have, like you want to have good people, in your organization. You want to have. I
certainly was, Alan. Alan, look, we're calming the waters today. Okay, this is a peaceful meeting. We're not taking rebel rousing ass in here. Okay, we're not going to put up with it. We're not going to put up with it. Look, he already got strike one.
Hey, Alan, you know what I'm saying? I actually love what you guys did in your draft as well,
did too.
Alan. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy for Alan and what the Cowboys did.
Yeah.
You know they're gonna get they're gonna be on TV every day on ESPN when football season starts. So he'll get plenty of love then. But as far as saying, me and you talking right now, as far as this part here, I'm not the biggest fan of trade ups either because I'm like you. I like the draft picks. Yeah. But right after they traded up, they wound up trading back and picking up an extra third next year. And again, like I said, wound up still getting Jordan Phillips out of Maryland. So once that happened, it was like, okay, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because we definitely needed to solidify the offensive line. We signed James Daniels out of Pittsburgh to play the other guard position. So, you know what I'm saying? We do not want Liam Eichenberg starting and playing in front of Tua. We need good physical football players, and Jonah, his name is so hard to pronounce, but he actually said it the other day in the first day of training camp. It was Savia Vea is his name, okay. Jonah. But he's Polynesian kid, played in Hawaii, went to the same high school as Tua, so that whole lineage and stuff like that. So they take it very seriously and stuff like that. So I'm excited about his potential. Obviously, people got to stay healthy, starting with the quarterback. Tua needs to stay healthy, and he needs to do it this year. They have it out after this season, so this is the year where Tua he needs to stay healthy first and foremost. Mike McDaniel needs to make things happen with this offense. And like I said, hopefully, if we stay healthy with the additions that we have on both the offensive and defensive lines, there's no reason why we shouldn't be competitive in every game. To be completely honest, you still got Tyreek with his crazy ass and his antics or whatever. Like I wanted them to trade him last year. We had these conversations before. I wanted them to trade him last year, and I wanted to draft the Brian Thomas kid, the wide receiver that went to Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Who was going to be a stud. But they didn't. They stood with him, and now we're dealing with his antics all the damn time. But you know what? Get what you can for him this year if he's going to be on the team, because there's rumors that they may try something post June 1st, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. To be completely honest, Pickens, just to answer your thing, Pickens is a stud, bro. But is he going to do the work and listen to the coach and do what he has to do in Dallas? I hope so, for y'all's sake, because he's a hell of a talent. But if Mike Tomlin was like, I don't want to deal with him no more, that says a lot.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just saying. So good luck to you, Alan, and your Cowboys with George Pickens. He's, like I said, he's a hell of a talent, but hopefully he can keep his head on straight and do what he needs to do. But
they do love their diva wide receivers, they.
Oh, of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah. But no, yeah. So overall, you know what I'm saying, I like what the Dolphins have done this offseason. But it's all like you mentioned, with the one and only Mr. Nance said, you need a quarterback to win in this league. I think Tua is good enough to win in this league. Is he the greatest? Does he have the greatest arm? No, but the kid can play. Let's not say that there's no denying that the kid has ability and can play. He just needs to stay healthy, and he needs to come through in November, December, and into the playoffs, which he hasn't done in the 5 years that he's been there. So 5 years is long enough. You know what I'm saying? You need to show it this year to us. So I want to see it.
Money. You're paying him a lot of money.
Absolutely. And like I said, they structured it smart to where they have an out after this season. So if he doesn't do it this year, that obviously it's going to be a cap hit, but not as bad of a cap hit as if they try to get out of it this year. So if he doesn't show it this season, they have an out, and they already picked up an extra asset for next year. So hopefully we're not in the looking for a quarterback business next season in 2026, but we'll see what Tua can do for us in 2025. But I'll get more excited once we get closer to the season. But as far as the draft is concerned, I like what they did with the draft. Some tough physical football players, which is what the Dolphins needed.
Absolutely. Physicality all up front. Gotta have
Absolutely, bro.
Gotta have
Yes, like I was saying, you want to have good character guys. You want to have good people in your community, good people to represent your organization. But you want some tough dogs out there. You know what I'm saying? You want guys that have that mentality that
Yes.
I am going to dominate the person across from me. And
Yes.
we didn't have enough of those. We didn't have enough
No.
dogs on our team. I
Yeah.
think we drafted a bunch of them. Even some of the undrafted, free agents that we got in are some big physical kids and stuff like that. I don't know how many
Right.
might make the team, but we're going your route where we're going to be a very young team this year.
Right.
So I wouldn't be
Gotta
surprised if
start
a few
somewhere.
of those, I wouldn't be surprised if a few of those undrafted kids make the team. But it starts with the quarterback and it starts with the head coach. Like Mike McDaniel, you need to do it this year too. This is year 4 for
Right.
you. So
Yeah.
let's see it happen.
I mean, we were talking about it. Like Mike McDaniel, we thought, is he on the hot seat? He might be on the hot seat.
See, I mean, you get mixed messages as far as whether or not he's on the hot seat. I mean, he kind of should be on the hot seat because
Right.
what I'm saying, you obviously regressed in the third season because you made the playoffs the first 2 years. This last
Right.
year you missed the playoffs. You only won the 9 games. You had all the drama and all the stuff going on off the field with Tyreek and all this and that. There was reports of guys coming to meetings late and this and that. Teron Armstead retired. Calais Campbell dipped. Ramsey wants out now. You know what I'm saying? So is the whole buddy thing kind of getting old already? Well, you know what I'm saying? It works when you're winning. When you're not winning, you know what I'm saying, it starts to get a little old or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's hard to go from we're cool to being, want to be the disciplinarian. You got to be the disciplinarian first. And then if you got to calm down a little bit, you can calm down and be more cool with people. But you can't be cool and then try to be a disciplinarian with people. You got to be real to who you are. But I think he is under some pressure. That's I'm with you 100%, Jerry. That's why I love the Savanea pick out of Arizona, a guard, because we got to keep Tua upright. And again, we still have Tyreek, we still have Waddle, we still got Jonnu Smith, you got Devon Achane, like you mentioned. Like I said, the Ollie Gordon pickup is going to be huge, I think, for us. Again, if the offensive line can protect Tua, I think he can make plays. So we should be able to score points if Mike McDaniel is the genius that he's supposed to be. So let's see what happens. And I'm excited about the possibilities. I have no expectations. I'm not even going to front and try to act like, I expect us to compete for the division. How no?
Everything's great.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, no. I have no expectations, but
neither do I.
I'm hopeful. So I think he could be on the hot seat, but at the same time, they haven't exactly made moves this offseason as if they were on the hot seat. And that's meaning Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier, the GM, who's been here for 20 years. Not in the GM position, but he's been the main GM since 2016. So that's long enough, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's going on 10 years. And you know what I'm saying? We've got a couple of playoff appearances, and we usually always get shellacked in the playoffs. So you know what I'm saying? You either gotta be moving in the right direction or you gotta get a step in, bro. So I think they should be on the hot seat, but I really don't know for sure. Obviously, if they go 2-15 or something dramatic like that happens, I think everybody's gone. But I think if they're somewhere near 500 and you see development in these younger kids and Tua stays healthy and has a good season, then I think Mike McDaniel will be safe. But if it's if it hits an iceberg and completely sinks, then I think that they're all out. I think Chris Grier, I think everybody will be all gone. But I don't expect that. Like I said, you still have talent on this team. You got Waddle, you got players on this team. Guys just got to step up, and the coach needs to put the guys in position to be successful. So let's see what happens.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I like it. I really like it. I think it's a lot of things. We talked about players signing and retiring. Speaking of retirement, Derek Carr hangs them up.
Yeah,
hangs them up.
Yeah,
the guaranteed money.
Hey, and props to him, bro. Like,
Mhm.
a Miami beat reporter. I'm not even gonna shout his name out there because he don't deserve his name to be
Don't give him
shout
the
out.
clicks. Don't give him.
Right, but his tweet was saying, it's honorable that he did that or whatever. It's stupid, but it's honorable. Why is it stupid, bro?
Right.
If he's hurt and he wants to walk away, he's made enough money already. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So why is that stupid? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth, bro. You know what I'm saying? To say
Right.
that he's being honorable because he's gonna go ahead and retire because of the injury and not, not make the Saints be on the books for $40 million or whatever. But yeah,
Right.
you're gonna say he's stupid because he's giving up $40 million.
Hmm.
I think he's okay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean, I
Yeah.
think he's gonna be all right financially.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that. Props to him, man. I like Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? I after he broke his leg that year that he was having an MVP type seasons with the Raiders, his
Mhm.
career like kind of was never the same after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he had some potential his first couple years, man.
Right.
So
I
I
always
like
thought.
Derek Carr and props to him. I hope he goes on to to have a good happy healthy life with his family. He's probably gonna wind up on TV or something like that on some
Sure.
show. You know,
Sure.
saying making some money or whatever. But the Saints, man. I mean, they. Do you think they knew? Do you think he gave them a heads up that this was probably gonna
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. They did something to his contract, and he got more money during the off season. I think they like
Okay,
extended it or something. So
right.
it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if they said he's like, "Hey, my shoulder is done. I'm done. Like I
Right.
can't do it." And they're like, "Okay, well, let's restructure your contract so you get more money now, and then you retire, and we don't have to pay you the guarantee." You know,
Right.
and that's what I think happened. That he's like, "Hey, my shoulder is done, and I can't do it anymore," and that's a shame.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
We always kind of make fun of Carr because he's good for 4 to 6 games, and then it all falls
Mhm.
apart. You
Right.
know, it starts getting colder outside, and he has a harder time, or something like that. All the little joking aside, it's never fun to see a guy, and he was decently young, leave the game like
Yeah,
that.
he's got to be what, early 30s? He's what,
Yeah, I think so.
31?
Early
Maybe
30s.
31 or something like that,
I
32?
I think of the how good the Dolphins would have been if Chad Pennington got to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I really liked Chad, and I felt like he was really
Mhm.
good at that offense at the time. But I mean, his shoulder got destroyed. It never
Right.
it never
Right.
fixed. Never got better.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good leader. You know what I'm saying? He was, sometimes again, it's not always who has the strongest arm.
Mm-hmm.
There's been plenty of quarterbacks in this league that
Sure.
had absolute cannons, but didn't have the intangibles to lead a team. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
Didn't
then you
have it
have guys,
upstairs.
right? You have people like like Chad Pennington and stuff like that don't have the rocket arm, but they have all the leadership qualities. They have everything else that you need to lead a football team to win football games. He unfortunately just couldn't stay healthy. And again, that's I put Tua in that type of category. Like, he's not
Mm-hmm.
saying, the top tier. He's not, obviously. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is by himself up there. Saying,
Yeah.
but Patrick, Josh Allen, Lamar, CJ Stroud, if they're
Right.
already putting him up there, Joe Burrow, these kids, say Justin Herbert. Like, there's a nice batch of good young quarterbacks. I'm gonna throw Cam Ward up in there too, because we're gonna get
Ooh,
into
look at
that.
you. Look
We're gonna
at
get
you.
into that, but there's a lot of good young quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I think Tua can be one of the better ones if he can stay healthy. Again, he doesn't have the biggest arm, but he has a quick release. He's got good footwork in the pocket. If we can protect this kid, I think he can be successful. So we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, he
Yep.
has to stay healthy. That's the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah. That is the key. That is the key. So, shout out for Mr. Carr.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy your life, bro.
Enjoy your life. All right. All right. Now we got it. I got it into it. And first thing I have to do is apologize because, and to be fair, there were plenty of reports that backed my play that the Titans were trading out. It was everywhere at the start of the offseason. It was on ESPN. It was on MMQB. It was on SI. It was everywhere. And then, like, you had guys like CBS Sports guy, I can't remember his name, that was saying like the best option the Titans had to do is trade out and build that team, and it made perfect sense. It made all the sense in the world. And then the offseason starts up. You have your new GM and Mike Borgonzi, 13 years as Kansas City's assistant GM, helped them pick Patrick Mahomes. Comes in, and his head of player personnel is Reggie McKenzie, a former GM. And Zettler is the head of scouting is McKenzie. And Zettler, his head of player personnel, is also a former GM. And they've really stacked that front office with a lot of experience and a lot of guys that have done the main job before.
Right.
And it's important to say this, but Chad Brinker is the head of football operations. He's El Presidente. And he comes from the class of Green Bay. And Green Bay drafts them young.
Yes, they do.
And they all grow up together. What have they done this draft? They have drafted them young, and they're all going to grow up together.
Yep.
And so now I started out because I didn't like, and I had listened to plenty of podcasts and whatever else, not like the usual people, but the different people that have all the QBs in the podcast, PFT, all these things. And they were looking at Cam Ward's lower body and said, boy, that thing's crazy. Great cannon, but that thing's crazy. And then the pro day comes along. And right after the pro day, the report started to come out. Titans are taking Cam Ward. So I truly believe, because I did not see a report that we were taking Cam Ward until his pro day and the Titans were out there. All of them were out there on his pro day in Miami. And then the owner flies to Miami and meets with him privately. I'm like, well, that'll do her. Like that's pretty much it right there. So yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think, now to be clear, I didn't think any quarterback in this class is good. I shake my head at the whole thing. So I imagine my dismay when I saw it was going to happen. And even I joked in the text chain going, yeah, and I said all these things about Cam Ward. And then I said, they're going to pick him, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened. So I am still nervous about Cam, but I will tell you this. I like how he carries himself. I like how he goes about his business. There's no one that can complain about that. And seeing him at rookie class today in OTAs has somewhat calmed the waters, but now Johnny Cruz is here to calm everything down. Put on your favorite background noise off your YouTube channel and, drift away as Dr. Johnny Cruz has entered the chat to calm me down.
All right. As I told you when it first became evident that you were getting the first pick in the draft,
Alan, you've ruined everything.
I knew. You know what? I'm glad that I was going to mention him. I'm glad that the Saints made that pick when they did
because you like that one?
because he's a little bit older. His issue is health. He needs to stay healthy, so they're gonna have to protect him. But he's older. He's got tons of experience. He's got a cannon. I think he's gonna be a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But Mr. Cam Ward is the best quarterback that I've seen at Miami. Probably since I was a little kid. And so I'm going all the way back to like Vinny Testaverde as far as like his ability on the field.
Don't show your age. Don't show your age, Johnny.
Ken Dorsey is the quarterback in the early 2000s when we had those dominant teams with Ed Reed and all those.
Right.
But we basically had NFL squads around Ken Dorsey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like our Chad Pennington type player. You know what I'm saying? But as far as actual talent at the quarterback position, Cam Ward is that dude, bro. He's got a calmness to him. I mentioned to you before the show that I love the fact that you put that in the thumbnail as far as calming you down, because he's going to calm everybody down, bro. Like I've never seen a quarterback in the pocket not get flustered at all. Like you're not going to rush him. You know, he knows how to move his feet around. You mentioned the fact that they're working on his actual mechanics and stuff like that. That's fine for his, set, drop back plays. So, his 3 and 5 step drops and stuff. But as far as the deeper stuff, the having to roll out or anything like that. He throws the ball from any type of angle, which I love that. Any type of arm angle that he has to make the play, he can make it. But he's just a calming presence. He's a natural leader. Saying guys are going to follow him. We talked about the fact that it's a young team, so I think it's perfect. The way they're building it around him, he's going to be the perfect quarterback for your team. And I made the comment that I would not be surprised, depending on what they do with the rest of the roster. I think if you don't make the leap this year, depending on how your schedule goes and what again how your roster looks, you're going to be competitive in most games this year, I believe. And I wouldn't be surprised if they put the right people around him in the next year or so. You're going to be competing with CJ Stroud and Houston for the division every year. To be completely honest, he's that good, bro. He has the Miami Hurricanes passing yards record. He has the Miami Dolphins single season touchdown record. And again, the Miami Hurricanes would not have been 10-3 if not for Cam Ward. There were at least 5 or 6 games where we were down double digits, and he brought us back single-handedly to win those games. And I will bang on the table, and most Miami Hurricane fans will agree that Mario Cristobal taking the ball out of his hands that final week against Syracuse is why the Miami Hurricanes didn't make the playoffs. And that costed the Miami Hurricanes an opportunity at a national title, because I would have loved to have seen Cam Ward go up against Ohio State and those teams, because he's that good. And I have no doubt that when they went to the pro day and actually met with the kid and saw how the other players responded to him at that pro day, I'm sure helped win them over as far as, his leadership with all those Miami Hurricane players that were there.
Right.
Yeah, I got no doubt in Cam Ward, bro. I'm so happy for you. You know what I'm saying? You're my boy. Right. I want you to be happy. You know what I'm saying? I want your Titans to be good. I think I admitted this one time on one of the LTS shows, but my youngest, Jace, is actually a Tennessee Titans fan. So he likes your Titans. It was because of the colors. He liked the colors when he was a little baby. Right. So he's always gravitated towards the Titans. So he's always been a Titans fan. So he's not as much into football as obviously Jonathan is, but I've told him that how excited he should be for the Tennessee Titans. So he's actually excited to watch some football again, and he hasn't watched football in forever. So yeah, you're gonna have fun, bro. He's gonna, like I said, I don't know how many games you're gonna win because I don't know about the rest of your roster, but you're gonna find out early that you got that guy. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to be like, okay, we got our quarterback. Once we get the rest of the stuff around him, we're going to be competitive, man. So I'm excited for you, bro. He's a good kid too, bro. That's the thing, bro. Like he's a good kid. He's not going to embarrass your franchise. He's not going to do nothing like that. You're not going to have to worry about him not putting none of that. No special massages, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to embarrass the organization at all. He's going to be a hard worker. And like I said, if they build it properly around this kid, you're going to be competing for that division in no time, bro.
Oh, thank you. All right. You know what? I'm on the train. I'll put me on the train.
I'm telling you, I can't wait till we get to the season and we start doing our LTS shows in the season. And apologies to all the LTS fans. I know I've been on a long ass hiatus, but life has been insane. But it's starting to calm down a little bit. Hopefully, let me knock on wood. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm hoping to be jumping on hopefully this coming Monday, so I can say hello to all the fellas and say what's up. But I can't wait till we start, get back into football season, start doing our football shows, because I'm gonna have fun seeing you happy after your games and during your games and with your boots on the ground and letting us know how it went at the Titans game, because I'm obviously going to follow, not just because of you, obviously, but I'm going to follow what Cam Ward does with Tennessee, because the kid was special, bro. So I can't wait to see him in the pros.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I appreciate it. And yeah, more like boas on the ground if we're talking about my kiddo. I had boas on the ground in Green Bay, Wisconsin. In
Nice
the draft.
props,
So,
man. I'm so
oh,
jealous. I ain't gonna front.
that was a wild 3 days. Those people love their beer and cheese. I'll tell you that much. But when it comes to like the way I look at it, and the difference is you're trying to figure out your GM and what his tendencies are and everything like that. Callahan got handed a horrible deal in his year one, and he had to try to make things work, and it couldn't work. And he really tried with Will Levis, and it felt like Rand Carthon, the GM, was kind of shoving Will Levis on him. And then Rand gets fired during the offseason. Now, some people were pissed. They were absolutely pissed. They didn't understand why he was fired after 2 years. And I said, well, he's kind of the car salesman. This thing's awesome. You just don't know it's awesome, but it's awesome.
Right.
And then he did a couple of these weird nonsense interviews where it didn't make any sense what he was talking about or anything like that. And then you start finding out, he leaves the office early during the season and stuff. The guy was not ready to be a GM. That's the bottom line. He just wasn't ready. He was a head scout in San Francisco, but he just wasn't ready for whatever reason. And I see him on TV and stuff like that. He seems to be fine to me. So, best to him. But yeah, and then Borgonzi comes in.
Well, I'm gonna obviously gonna finish, but props to the owners and the organization for realizing it and cutting ties.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's like I wish. Do you see this, Stephen Ross? You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's good to be loyal, but at the same time, holy crap, bro! Like if somebody has been mediocre for 20 years, what makes you think they're gonna not be mediocre going forward? You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to be loyal, but to be loyal to a fault. Stephen Ross, I digress. So props to your owners for saying, hey, this ain't working. So let's just cut ties and go in a different direction. So that was a good move.
Right.
And you got Reggie McKenzie's coming from Miami. You got one of and he was one of the assistant general managers that I was actually excited about with Miami, and now we lose him. So he's there with you guys. So props to your owners for doing what they had to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. Thank you. We have two teams that will bow down to the Patriots this year, the Dolphins and the Titans. Oh, you got to forgive Scott. He's high on.
Hey, it's all good, Scott. You should feel good. You got a hell of a coach. You got a good young quarterback. But
Mike Vrabel hasn't developed a quarterback, by the way.
Don't get too far ahead of yourself, bro.
I need to start planting these seeds early, just a little bit, just a little bit. But like in all seriousness, no, I'm very happy how it went. We're sitting here with Borgonzi, which is kind of funny, or a Southern team with a GM that's from Boston. So he's just like, oh yeah, I come down here. I was at a meet and greet with him. It was season ticket member. Thing. And he goes, you guys want to hear me do departed quotes? And we're like, yes, we do. And he did. It was really funny. But he went on through and he talked about the trade aspect. And I was curious, and several others, with the trade offers on the table and whatnot. He goes, there were good trade offers, but nobody was willing to bet the farm like they had done in the past. Like you would get a treasure trove of the picks, and you even saw the Giants. I don't know if anybody saw the video, but the Giants called them one more time before they picked. And oh Lord, oh God! Now we put a quarter in the jukebox. Now we got to hear this song. Everyone would bow down to the greatness. I can't. Okay, all right. Okay. Anyway, time to mute Scott. So he comes in. And he says, no offer. And then he gets up there 2 weeks before the draft and says, we're picking. He doesn't hide it or anything. We're picking. It doesn't matter anymore,
Right.
And from all accounts, he's like, all right, look, you guys don't want to give us the offer. I'm not going to wait till 0 hour. I'm shutting the door. I'm picking. Like, if that's how you're going to be, we're just going to pick. So, and it was not a great video to show of the Giants because the Giants GM looks highly uncomfortable when he's calling the Titans one more time. I just had to check. Like fake laughter. It's really bad. It's on my Facebook. I was like, wow, Sam, I'm available next Saturday to deal with all those other fan bases. He is like Steve Winwood, right? He wants to be back in the high life again. He just can't help himself.
Yeah.
But this is my show, Scott. You can talk about it on Patriots Unleashed or whatever. So they go on, and this is the first time, Johnny. It has been a while since I saw this team highly invest in somebody. They not only drafted well, they drafted so well, Johnny. I haven't given them an A in years. I gave them an A this draft. Because they fulfilled a lot of needs. And one of my favorite draft picks was tight end Gunnar Helm out of Texas. What does every young quarterback need? He needs the safety blanket tight end. Gunnar Helm is a safety blanket tight end. Loves his hands, whatever. And then you managed to grab Restrepo, an undrafted free agent.
An undrafted free agent to go hook up with his quarterback. Wow.
Oh, yeah. And guess who was making highlights today? Restrepo in rookie OTAs.
You're gonna love him, bro. You're gonna love him. I mean, everybody knew that he wasn't gonna run a fast time because that's not his thing. Right. But the kid can run routes. He knows how to get open. He already has chemistry with the quarterback. And yes, if it's anywhere near him, he's catching it, bro. Right. So you're gonna love Restrepo, bro. I'm happy for you with that one.
That I am too, actually. We'll call it PP, okay? Just PP. But sorry, it's late. I've had 3 Dos Equis.
Don't apologize. That shit was funny.
3 Dos Equis. Anyway, running through my veins. So they fixed the O line. We have waited 3 years for somebody to fix the O line, not just meddle with it. Vrabel didn't fix it either, which I found kind of shocking. But they actually fixed it by signing veterans that knew what they were doing and putting young talent in depth in places where they need to put it. And you move your first-round draft pick Latham last year to right tackle what he is supposed to say. In all seriousness, great to see you both. Johnny, miss you.
I miss you too, Scott, man. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I miss all the fellas on LTS.
He misses me.
Like I said, stuff's starting to calm down. So hopefully I'll be back on there Monday nights with you guys.
I like it. Hey man, I feel you. These kids, man. I'm so tired. I'm just tired all the time. It's my default setting. I fall asleep in chairs now if I sit down for more than 5 minutes.
Bro, you gotta take advantage and sleep whenever you can, bro.
The wife and I went. Somebody watched the kids, and we actually went out to eat. And the restaurant lights were dim, and I was like in the booth, just. I was having a rough time, but in all seriousness, they really invested in this kid. They really fixed the O line. They didn't really invest with Vince Young. I don't think he would have worked out, but whatever. They didn't really invest with Jake Locker. They did invest with Marcus Mariota, but Marcus wasn't the guy.
No, he wasn't.
And so they got stuck with like a bunch of other teams and just kept signing journeymen.
Right.
So the this he is going to have his best shot to succeed, and he has to, because Callahan will be fired if he doesn't. So. I think that's the other thing to this that makes me feel a little bit better is they are not drafting this guy unless Callahan feels that he can do it. If he doesn't feel he can do it, he can't waste the draft pick. He can't. So
no, I hear you on that, but honestly, what you just said right there about the offensive line is all I needed to hear, bro. And then you got him a good young big stud tight end, which I mean, bro, Cam Ward got Elijah Arroyo drafted as high as he got drafted. You know what I'm saying? Because of how much he, hit him and used him in that Miami Hurricanes offense this past year. And then, of course, Restrepo doing what he did. If that offensive line protects Cam Ward, bro, like I said, you're going to be competitive in every game because you guys always have a good D. You know what I'm saying? Your defense always comes to play. They're always physical. You still got Simmons in the middle of that defensive line, who is I love him too, bro, man. He's a beast. He's a hell of a player. if that defense, keeps you guys, in games, and the offensive line protects Cam Ward, he's gonna put up points, bro. You're gonna, like I said, if they protect him, he's gonna make plays. Like I said, that you're gonna feel so calm. Like he's gonna make you feel calm when you're watching him play, bro. He's so smooth with it, bro. Like I said, he doesn't get flustered. He's really smart. Every once in a while, he'll try to make a throw that you're like, oh, don't do that. But at the same time, he hits on a lot of those as well. But he doesn't take a lot of those chances. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's usually very careful with the ball. You know what I'm saying? But he can make every throw. The people that were trying to say, oh, he doesn't have a really good arm. Are you freaking kidding? Like I told you, watch watch the Florida game, the Virginia Tech game, the Cal game. He's rolling to his left. He resets his body and throws absolute missiles to the back of the end zone, 35 yards plus on all three of them, and hits the guy in stride, rolling to his left. Like, come on, bro. Not everybody makes that throw. You know what I'm saying? And he did it with no problem. You know what I'm saying? So he's great at play action as well. And again, like I said, he's not the fastest guy, but he knows how to manipulate the pocket. And when you need that big first down, like I said, he's not going to be flustered on those third and whatevers. And late in the game, he's not going to be panicky and all. No, he's going to be nice and calm, and he's going to give you an opportunity, bro.
Right. Oh, all right. I love it. I'm all about it. I'm boarding the train right now. Now, I will say this. It is Warren Moon's number to give up, but goodness gracious, can the kid take a snap first? Can the kid take a snap?
Yeah, I'm with you on that because I'm not a big fan of just that in general. Like, how dare this, and I love Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
like that kid is going to be a phenomenal player, but the
way he asked
the balls to ask LT for his number, like, bro, please. So yes, well, I'm a big Warren Moon fan. I loved watching Warren Moon play. You know what I'm saying? So for him to be willing to give this kid, and that probably goes a lot to Cam Ward's character. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like I said, I'm sure Warren Moon has met with Cam Ward, and they probably, especially once Warren knew that they were going to draft him. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't already have a prior relationship, dude, he's a really, really, really good kid, a really good person. But yeah, I hear you on the. Can we let him take a snap first? But I like the way Warren. Warren was like, well, my number one was with the Oilers. This is number one with the Titans. So you know what I'm saying. So he kind of tried to straddle the fence with it, right? With that one there. So you know what I'm saying. Props to him, but he's gonna earn it for you, bro. I'm telling you, man.
They're gonna wear the Oilers throwbacks. He's like, "What are you doing? Take that shit." Stop. But it looks like we're getting new jerseys for the stadium opening in 2027. So
that's awesome, man.
We just got new jerseys like 6-7 years ago. I'm like, oh, come on.
Right. Come on. It's just more money and more money and more money.
I know. Look, I get it. You got to change it up. And plus, Nike is like, hey, we got to make this stuff. That's how this works. Johnny, what do you got coming up? Where
I mean, you said yes. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Anytime. Looking forward to. Like I said, Sunday mornings you can catch me on the Botkins show with our boy Nick Botkins, the one and only, for our weekly dump, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, we discuss everything that's gone on throughout the week. We talk sports, but pop culture as well. We both got we're doing top fives. Worst TV moms for this for Mother's Day this week.
Better be Jax's mom from Sons of Anarchy. Don't say she's great. She's not. She's a bad person.
Yeah, definitely check out that list. I'm going to be reviewing Thunderbolts, so definitely check that out. I'll give my review on that. And then, like I said, I'm hoping to be on Monday night on the LT show. And, the Dolphin Chronicles will be coming back in a few weeks on the Kendu Sports Network, so I'll be on there once we start that up again. So, like I said, stuff's starting to calm down. So hopefully, I'll be doing some more shows.
Excellent. I love that. You can catch me on let's see, On the Mat is going to go live here as soon as I'm done with this show, and Alan and I are going to talk about this Backlash, which was pretty successful. I'm happy that they took the turns that they did. I would have loved to see Orton win, but these things happen. Then what do I do? I have the LTS show on Monday at 8 p.m. Central, and you can also catch me on Fanboys Unleashed every Friday at 8 p.m. I'm trying to do a thing. This is a special Saturday edition, which I will do somewhat every now and then if I can find an interview. I did a solo show last night, Johnny, and my mic fell off. Like the whole thing fell off in mid-show, and I was like, one moment, and it was like, because I'm like trying to put it, like screwing the thing back on. Like it was just this noise the whole time. It sounded like two people banging on a mattress. Just awful. It's the first apartment you ever had. Awful. Anyway, so you can catch it there, and you can. I love me some wrestling, and so does Alan Perales, and you can catch us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central to recap Raw, and every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central to recap SmackDown, if we're not going to do it Friday, because I don't think we're going to do it Friday, because when it goes off, we are very tired, and we both work at 4 a.m. So that's how that works. But anyway, Johnny, it is an absolute pleasure having you back, buddy. I love it. I'm so happy.
I appreciate you having me on. It was great to talk to you, and I've missed you, bro. So I look forward to, like I said, I look forward to being on the LTS show. Hopefully starting this coming Monday in a couple days.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, for Sam Dean, aka Mr. First Down, this is Johnny Cruz at the Yankee Fan. Check us out on Twitter. Love the Fanboys Unleashed page on Facebook. We're doing pretty well there. We'd love to have I am now asking for your vote once again on the phone. And we are Fanboys Unleashed, and we will see you later. Bye-bye, everybody.